Hi, I'm Joe Fabregas. We're glad that you've shown an interest in building a contingency income that will not compete with your current job or existing source of income. Now, just a word of caution. This practical vehicle for building contingency income is not for everybody. So let me tell you up front who this is for and who this is not for. This is not for you if, number one, you think this is another one of these conventional direct selling gimmicks or games. This is not a game. Number two, if you think that we're going to try and turn you into a sales superstar or a recruiting superstar that goes around recruiting people that you don't know or chasing people you don't know, in other words, cold canvas, then this is not for you. Why am I asking you this? This is because we don't want you to do anything that we ourselves don't like doing. Actually, the best way to examine this vehicle is to evaluate the 4 criteria of BCI. Number one, will this take, on the average, more than 2 hours of my day? If you follow our system, probably not. Number two, will I need to develop hard-to-learn skills to be able to do this program? Nope, you just have to follow a really simple system. Will this require a cash outlay that I probably can't afford? If you're like most people, your smartphone costs more than this. Number four, will the return be worth my risk and my effort? Well, of course, we think so. But we'll let you be the judge of that after you see the whole program. So let me introduce you to this vehicle with which you can build contingency income. It's the Uno Premier 4x4x100 system. This is a systems-based vehicle that will offer you a way to generate consistently growing contingency income. This is not personality-based, so please don't sit there and think, oh, I can't do this, I've failed at this before. We have a simple system that anybody with any kind of personality can execute. Before we go on and show you the 4x4x100 system, please allow me to ask you a few questions. The first of these questions being, would it be okay with you if for 10-15 minutes I ask that you completely free your mind, erase all your thoughts about sales, about direct selling, about networking? We're not saying that these are bad things. It's just we want our ideas to be presented on a fresh sheet of paper. That's the only reason we ask this. Now, after 10-15 minutes, you can ask all the questions that you want. The next question I'd like to ask you is, do you know how to write with your left foot? Now, if you're like most people, the answer is no. The second question I'm going to ask you with regards to this is, for an income of $10,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month, would you be willing to write with your left foot? And again, if you're like most people, they say, yeah, we're willing to learn how to do that. Now, fortunately, you don't have to learn how to write with your left foot. You only have to learn how to do 4 things. Remember, we told you this is a simple, easy system to follow. You only have to do 4 things. The first thing being register with Uno Premier. Uno Premier is a company in the Philippines that's been for 9 years. In 2013, we were voted the best networking company in the Philippines. We have offices in 11 countries right now, and we're aggressively pursuing opening up in other countries because our market is growing rapidly. Please go to the person who showed you these links, and he'll take you through the unopremier.com website, and you'll see everything about the company there. Now, when we say register with Uno Premier, basically what you're doing is making an advance purchase of approximately $260, $265. When we say an advance purchase of $260, $265, Uno has a wide range of highly consumable world caliber products. So all we're doing is just purchasing products either for ourselves, or if you do like selling, you can sell it, or you can share it with your family, with your friends. Me personally, I like to consume the Uno products. So that's basically it for number 1. Register with Uno Premier. Number 2 is what we call stop and study. Many people fail in this industry because they've never taken the time to stop and study, how do I do this business? They sign up, they register, they're excited, they start talking to everybody, and then they realize that there's a little bit to learn before I should start talking to people. For this reason, we say stop and study. Now, we have a system. We call it the 4x4x100 system. We have a website that's dedicated to teach you how to apply the 4x4x100 system. Now, please don't think this is one of these 3 or 4 year college courses. For most people, as long as they take the studies seriously, as long as they take the training seriously, within 3-4 months, you can be an expert at this business. So number 1, register with Uno. Number 2, stop and study. Number 3, you just need to identify 3, 4, or 5 friends, we specifically say 4, friends, relatives, or colleagues who you may know who also would like to be earning $10, $30, or $50,000 a month. That's not very hard to find. In fact, when I ask people, how long do you think it'll take you to find 4 people that would like to earn the kind of monies that we're talking about? Some people say 1 day, some people say immediately, some people will say 1 week, 2 weeks. For purposes of projection, let's say 1 month. Okay, it's like you're seeing 1 person a week, because we'd like this to be realistic. But mind you, this will work whether it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. We just say 4 weeks so that we have a basis for our projection. So number 1, register with UNO. Number 2, stop and study. Number 3, identify 4 people. And finally, number 4, you consume 100 points a month of our wonderful UNO products. Now, 100 points a month is approximately $60, so and so. Okay. Now, what I always tell people is, all we're doing is changing brands. The products that UNO has, you can find outside. All we're saying is, instead of buying these products outside, which you're probably buying already, all we're saying is, instead of buying it out there, because they don't offer commissions, bonuses, we call them cashbacks, just buy them from UNO, because UNO has a really nice commission and bonus system. That's what we're going to be showing you. Basically, we're going to make a lot of money just by changing brands, switching brands. I like to call it profitable consumerism. Now, at this point, I'd like to ask you that, are you willing to do these 4 things in order to earn $10, $30, $50,000 a month? Okay, and the reason I like to ask this of everybody that we talk to is we like to tell people, if you're not willing to do these 4 things, it's okay if you don't want to join us. We just don't want people to have false expectations about this business. This is a great business, but there's work. It's not a magic formula, okay? But the work is very simple because of the system that we have for you. Now, if you're like most people who say, yeah, for that kind of income, I'm willing to do these 4 things, let me go on and show you what happens if you and everybody that you bring in does these 4 things. It's very simple. In the first month, your earning is about $88. That's for you. That's how much you earn. On the second month, you earn $204 approximately. I'm rounding everything off so there's no extra dollars and cents. You earn $204 the second month. The 4 you brought in earn $88 also. Now, the reason this is important is because in this system, everybody makes money. It's not just one person making money. Now, on the third month, the 16, what are they going to do? They're also going to bring in 4. Now, I ask, how do you know this? Because remember, we ask them, if you're not willing to do it, don't register with UNO anymore. In other words, when they come in, they're more or less committed to bring in at least 4 or 5 relatives that they'd like for also to enjoy this program. So on the third month, your earning now is about $820. Not bad. The 4 you brought in are at the $200 level, and the 4 they brought in are at the $88. Again, this is something where everybody earns. Now, what happens is the 64 will also bring in 4 friends and relatives who would also like to earn money and consume products. But before I go on, I'd like to ask you, these 256 people, do you know these 256? Of course, your answer is no. You only know the 4. The reason I'm pointing this out is many people think that in this industry, you need to be a recruiting superstar who will recruit half your city, half your village, and sell container loads worth of products in order to make good amounts of money. With the 4x4 system that UNO gives you, you don't have to. As long as you know 4 and everybody brings in 4, everybody makes good money. So anyway, on the 4th month, with the 256, when they come in, you earn now $3,250 approximately, which is really, really nice. On the 5th month, what's going to happen? The 256 are going to bring in their 4 each. That's about $1,024. Okay, now your earning is $13,000 approximately. The 4 you brought in are also earning the $3,200, etc., etc., etc. Again, everybody makes money. Now finally, on the 6th month, when they bring in their 4, this brings it now to about 4,000 plus. The exact number is not really important. Now you hit what we call in UNO maxing out. Okay, you hit the maximum income of $40,000 a month, okay, for this particular bonus and commission. This means now, on the 7th month, when the next group of 4 comes in under all your people, you're still earning about $40,000 a month. But the nice thing is, so are your 4. Okay, so again, everybody here makes money. On the 8th month, when everybody brings in 4 under you, you still earn $40,000 a month. But the 4 you brought in are also at $40,000 a month, and the 4 they brought in are also at $40,000 a month. Now, I'd like to point out, this is just the basic commission. There's 8 other ways to earn, but for right now, it's not important, because I think $40,000 a month is, I think most people can live with that money as a contingency income. I like to use an explanation that is real to me. Like, I don't understand how a brake system works. Okay, but fortunately, thank God, when I step on the brake, my car stops. It's exactly the same thing here. You don't have to understand everything about this. The brake here is the 4 things that everybody does, and the car stopping is the income that everybody receives. So you see, it's not the knowledge of the compensation plan that'll make you earn. It's the 4x4x100 system that'll make you earn. Now, later on, you may want to learn everything about the compensation plan. That's your choice. But again, whether you become an expert at the compensation plan or you know nothing about the compensation plan, as long as everybody does these 4 things, everybody earns money. Now, before we end, I'd just like to point out 3 things. The first one is, let's say after 4 or 5 months, you've earned anything between $10,000 to $15,000 because you're following the 4x4x100 system. You call all of them up and you say, hey guys, guess what? I've earned so much money already. Please stop. I don't want you to do the Uno Premier business anymore. What do you think they're going to say? Of course, they're going to say, wait a minute, we came in here because we want to earn like what you're earning. So for this reason, they're going to start also bringing in their 4 and teaching others to do the same thing. Remember, this is systems-based. It's not personality-based. The nice thing about this business, if you do it right, if everybody follows the 4x4x100, even when you want your income or network to stop growing, it still keeps growing, if you do it right. The second thing I'd like to point out is, let's say, after 8 months to 1 year, you only hit 10% of the max out, 10% of the $40,000 a month. Now, normally in school, if you take a math test and you only get 10%, you failed. Or if you're part of a sales team in a company and you only hit 10% of your projections, you're fired. In other words, you failed. Here, if after 8 months to 12 months, you're only earning 10% of the $40,000 a month, hey, that's still $4,000 a month. Now, you may be failing, but at least you're a rich failure. You're still getting $4,000 a month. So you see, with this program, you don't have to hit 100% for this to be worth your while. Are we going to go for 100%? Are we going to go for the max out here? Of course we are. But the nice thing is, for this plan to make sense to you and your family for your contingency income, you don't have to be hitting 100% for it to make sense and for it to be profitable. Now, the third thing I'd like to point out is, once you hit the 256, 1024, 4000 plus level, it's clear that everybody's following the 4x4x100 system, which means it's kind of growing automatically already. It's designed that way. Now, if you want to, you can bring in 4 more, or 2 more, or 1 more. It's up to you. It's your choice, okay? Because this is really what building this income is about. It's about getting to the point in your life where you have a choice. So if you choose to bring in 3, 4, 5 people, it's up to you. Because we're not saying that you can only bring in 4. I've had people come and tell me, Joe, I know a lot more than 4 people that would like to earn this income. And we say, fine, but bring in 3, 4, or 5 first, take care of them, teach them the system, teach them how to build, teach them how to multiply. Then you can bring in 1 more if you want, 2 more if you want, 5 more if you want. The nice thing with this business is, by the time you're earning 30, 40, 50,000, now you're more or less an expert. So now it's even easier when you bring in other people to train them how to do the right thing. Just tell them to follow what you did. That's a beautiful thing about this business. It gets you to the point in your life where your network is growing and all everybody's doing is really just consuming Uno products. That's why we call it profitable consumerism. Now that you've seen the whole program, I'm pretty sure you're interested, like we were when we saw this program. So please contact the guy who sent you this link. Say thank you to him, because we're going to be able to change our life because of this. And now you can get started with your business and building your contingency income. So let me be the first one to welcome you to Uno Premier.